Had enough of those supplements that leave you feeling nothing? Symbiotica is your solution to great-tasting, all-natural supplements that actually work. Crafted with premium plant-based ingredients, their products have no seed oils, fillers, or toxins. Try them out and actually feel the difference today. Visit Symbiotica.com and use code IHEART for 15% off plus free shipping on your subscription order. Again, that's 15% off plus free shipping on your subscription order. Go to Symbiotica.com, Symbiotika.com.
Join hosts and educator extraordinaires Michal Beton and Noam Weissman for the latest weekly podcast from Unpacked Wandering Jews as they tackle topics and uncomfortable questions about Israel, Judaism, and Zionism that surround them with the goal of working towards the answers together with their listeners. No matter where you're from, if you've ever wondered about anything, this is the podcast for you. Listen to Wandering Jews with Michal and Noam on your favorite podcast app today. Wandering Jews is brought to you by Unpacked, a division of Open Door Media.
Hello, Saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Episode 386, Best Vacation Destination Dupes, aka more affordable, with Jen on a jet plane.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And I am not on a jet plane. I am here with Jill. And we just had a conversation with Jen on a jet plane. But, spoiler, she was also not on a jet plane. She was also actually in St. Petersburg, just not in the same room as us. Figure that out. Are you
confused yet?
Yeah, figure that out. But we had a really great conversation with our friend Jen, who has traveled all around the world. It's what she does for a living. And we are sharing some of her favorite affordable places to travel.
Yeah, she's incredible. She travels constantly, and her whole job is giving people tips and what to expect when traveling. And even though her primary goal in life isn't to always be saving money, because it's within her value system to be traveling, but she's got some really awesome tips on how you can go to some of these places for a more affordable rate or alternatives to some of these places that we think we want to go just because we don't know about where else we could go. So she's an incredible one to chat with. And we will do that shortly. But first, this episode is brought to you by Inside Jokes. We love it when we're a part of them, and we're uncomfortable when we have no idea what everyone else is laughing about. If you don't have many inside jokes with friends, or if you do and you want more, get on the inside of the Friendletter and share it with your friends. So there's a referral link at the bottom of every email that we send to you that is unique to you. All you got to do is give that link to your friends so they can also know about all the free stuff, the funny stuff, the good deals, and the savings hacks. Then we send you stuff for your referrals like stickers and totes and mugs with Frugal Friends inside jokes on them. Some of them have that, some of them don't. You get the point, though. Be on the inside, frugalfriendspodcast.com. Inside jokes. You had to be there.
Yeah, you had to be there inside the cheese cave.
Oh, if you don't know what Jen's talking about, the other Jen will tell you.
Yeah, you haven't. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you haven't listened to today's episode yet. Or taken our Friendletter vacation dupes poll.
Yeah.
Because we asked you guys, where would you like to vacation this summer? And all of you surprisingly said cheese caves. I'm just kidding. Most of you said national parks, mountains, trees, please. And then the second biggest answer was cheese caves.
She's telling inside jokes right now is what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, folks, but soon you will be on the inside.
Anywhere with a beach was the second place. So we definitely included some international destinations in our conversation, but we kept a lot of it domestic while integrating some of the feel of Europe, which was probably the biggest like international destination request, but how you can kind of get that feel with some domestic locations. But yeah, we kept a lot of our conversation domestic. But if you do want to travel internationally, still listen to the episode. There are, gosh, including like a Italy dupe in Guatemala. That one was mind-blowing. So today's episode is great. I think a lot of you are going to love it. It's going to be one I think that you come back to again and again to get affordable travel ideas. Jen does so much research. I love following her on social media because she goes places that aren't stereotypical. She goes to all kinds of domestic locations, international, and things that you just wouldn't see from a normal travel blogger or somebody trying to be a travel blogger. She is a lawyer turned full-time travel blogger, influencer, and author. And you can see her research background shines through with just how thoroughly she helps people travel on a budget. So if you love traveling, which we know that a lot of you do, episode 312 is a good one to queue up after this. If you're looking for specific ways to travel on a budget, that one I was not there for. It was our friend Chloe who travels full time. She's a digital nomad. And that one's about traveling full time on a budget. And then episode 250, how to save money on travel. That's where we go into the nitty gritty, how to save on hotels, flights, all of that. Today is all about the destination.
It's not about the journey.
It is not about the journey. Today's about a destination.
Well, let's get into the journey with Jen now.
Jen, welcome to Frugal Friends. We are super excited to this. We just wrapped up our mega survey for Frugal Friends, and we asked our listeners, what do you love to spend money on? Like, what are the things you'll say no to the impulse purchases in order to get more of this? And hands down, travel. It was no competition. And so everyone's going to love this episode. So thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. I definitely am a big fan of all things travel, and it's what I spend the majority of my money on. So I'm happy to talk more about it.
You are so fun to follow on Instagram. Jen on a jet plane. If you're not doing it, y'all need to. And I especially love the way that you really break down the spots that you're going to for someone who might want to do it, but they don't know what to expect. You are the pinnacle of giving people, here's what to expect, and kind of breaking down that barrier to entry that some people might have. So with all of that said, with all of the various countries and destinations that you are constantly bebopping around to and sharing your expert tips and advice, we want to know kind of some of your favorite spots that are lesser known and talked about. And particularly, you hear all these people like, I'm going to Paris, I'm going to the islands of Greece, I'm going to, and posting all these beautiful photos. But yet there's so many other destinations in the world. And we're curious, like, where else should we be considering that might even be more affordable, possibly not as many tourists there. So, so start us off. It could be international and domestic.
Yeah. Let's
if
start
I want to go to
international.
France. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start like your favorite dupes that are international. Let's start there.
Yeah, so I think that France is a big one for a lot of people. It's a dream destination. People want to see the Eiffel Tower in Paris. They want to go to the south of France. And I love France, and I definitely recommend it. I think it's something that can be done more and more easily now with the advent of budget airlines. So airlines like French Bee, airlines like Play Air, they get you to and from these locations for maybe $400 round trip per person. They're more of a no-frills airlines, and you add things on a la carte as you decide that you want, checked baggage, seats, all of the above. And so I think that France is a great destination to aim for. And a lot of people get so intimidated by not necessarily being able to plan that big trip that because of that, they don't travel at all. And so I think a great way to start when you're somebody that's aiming to get overseas is to start traveling domestically. Just, get out there and see more of the US because we have so much to offer here in the US. So one hack that I found for France specifically is New York State, which is very similar along, geographically located. And they have a wine trail in the Finger Lakes where you can get wine that has outranked France in international awards. You can get delicious cheese, again, with, I've been to the Wegmans cheese caves there, and they have a French cheese expert. There's a word for like cheese expert, like sommelier for wine.
Cheese caves?
Yes.
Yeah, I've never heard of a cheese cave.
Caves?
Yes.
Okay, go on. Yep. I'm
So
here.
traditionally in France, a lot of cheese is prepared in caves because of the temperature, the atmosphere. It's just really good for, maturing these cheeses. And in New York State, there's definitely been a lot of replication of that because in New York, they're the third highest dairy producing state in the US. And so they make a lot of cheese, and they have these local artisanal cheeses. They have Wegmans that has, gone so far as to try to replicate the cave effect in their laboratories where they're making all of this really delicious cheese. And so it's a big cheese place that pairs really nicely with the wine there. And so already I feel like you have that feel of France. In the summer, it's a beautiful time to visit. You can find these really lovely lavender fields that are not going to be necessarily, like the south of France where they're endless in many ways, but they're really gorgeous. And, you can get your pictures amongst lavender fields that looks like you're in the middle of the south of France. So like Kingfisher Lavender Field is one. In Skaneateles in upstate New York, they have lavender fields there. And they have the Mirbeau Inn and Spa. They actually have a Monet replica of the Givenchy, the gardens. And so you can walk through these French gardens. So it's really a beautiful place to go. You can get fresh honey. It's just like really lovely if you want to have that experience. Similarly, in Washington State, during April, they have tulip fields that are, very much reminiscent of the tulip fields in the Netherlands. If you're somebody that can't make it abroad for something like that, you can see these are bulbs that have been flown over. So they're, the same bulbs that are grown over there. And they have fields and fields of tulips, very similar to what you would see in the Netherlands. So there's ways that you can get a lot of those, things that you're looking for in France in the US.
Jen, we're jaw drop.
I know.
Over here.
I am actively like searching as you're saying, and I'm like looking at cheese caves and lavender fields.
We don't even need to go on with this episode. We all know where we're going. See all you frugal friends in upstate New York.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I think, we can just see so much propaganda, for lack of a better word, of all these other places we have to be going, we should be going. And we're missing some of the things that are right in front of us that can be less expensive, maybe easier to get to, and just as beautiful and stunning.
Oh my gosh. If upstate New York wasn't great enough by having the Bills is their football team.
Wow.
The cheese caves, this place has a cave intern program, and it just says love cheese. Our cave intern program offers a front row seat to expert affinage for enthusiasts. You could
intern
if you're not in the cheese cave in upstate New York, this is really a business trip that we should be taking. Just for science.
I totally agree.
To see the Bills.
Yes. It's amazing. And yes, I think that that's the case. We underestimate, how much there is to see. The U.S. is a beautiful place that people from all over the world come to visit. There's so many, different bucket list things that you can do here. Salt flats that you can see, ice caves that you can see, things that people are going other places to see, you can see in the U.S. So I think that's the first point. But if you are looking to get abroad, there are a lot of destinations that can be a more affordable alternative to the most popular destinations. I think one of the ones that I love to point out is how affordable it is to go to Guatemala for people, especially that want to have that feel of Italy. Like Lake Como is very comparable to Lake Atitlan. There's actually a hotel there on the water that people take videos of because it looks so much like that kind of Mediterranean architecture right by the water, that kind of feel. And the difference is that it's much more affordable. You're looking at, maybe $100 a night versus several $100s, things in general. And that's, for that really popular property, because you can get a property for $30 a night, maybe less or so, depending on where you are in Guatemala. And they have so many amazing things there. You can do your own cacao chocolate making. So you can learn about the process, and they have some of the best in the world there. So you can have your fancy desserts and feel like you're getting that culinary experience as well, but you're doing it at a fraction of the cost. You can get this, experience with volcanoes. If you wanted to see Vesuvius, you could hike and actually see an erupting live active volcano, spend the night. So that's, something you can do. You can eat pizza cooked on an active volcano. That was an activity that I did.
What?
You're blowing our mind.
Yes.
I thought I knew things about the world.
Yeah. So if you can have that little piece of Italy. You can have, so you hike to the top of this volcano. It's the only place in the world where you can have pizza cooked on the volcano. And it's a gentleman that, was a restaurateur and a chef, and he figured out that you can cook with the heat of the volcano. They figured it out originally with marshmallows. And for years, tourists had been, toasting marshmallows when they reached the top of the volcano. But this man went a step further and actually made like a little pizza oven in the volcano, so that you can go and you have your table that's built out of stone on the volcano, and it's brought out to you and made fresh for you there after your hike. And so you have these epic views. And so I think that entire day, cost me, because two other people came on the tour, it cost me about $90 for the hike, the pizza, transportation, everything included. So it could be much more affordable to do these things in these alternative destinations.
Oh my
How
gosh.
risky did it feel to be that close to an active volcano?
It felt
Not risky for these girls in these pictures. Look at them.
Look at them enjoying their
Just eating
pizza.
Yes.
Just eating pizza.
It felt definitely like an adventure. And I think that's the fun part. And also, they're so well versed because there are communities that live there on the base of the volcano, because you learn that actually the volcanic land is very fertile. And so even though maybe there's, eruptions that are disruptive and burn things down, they'll still continue to live there, because it's so hard to find land that, is just so good for the crops. You can grow pretty much anything there. And so communities will build and congregate and have, hundreds of years history around these volcanoes. And so they know the warning signs, they know, ahead of time what to expect. They have a plan on where to go. And it's a little bit scary to hear. It's erupted recently. It erupts pretty frequently. But again, you feel like, well, it's not today. Fingers crossed,
I didn't know that, and that you could anticipate it until Kai brought home a book on volcanoes, and we've been reading it. Like, it's a short, kids book, but they say what it is like before a volcano. And sometimes there will be tremors for like a couple months leading up to it.
You can kind of know it's coming.
But this is Picaya Volcano, writing it down in
Amazing.
Lake Atitlan.
Okay.
We'll have it all. The spellings will be in the show notes. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so alternative to Italy, Guatemala, never would have considered that.
Never.
So you were also talking about some European towns. Can you give us some other dupes for if we just want that European feel?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of cities in the US that are European inspired and where you can feel immersed. Again, I don't think you have to necessarily leave the country to feel like you're getting a really cool vacation. So, Helen, Georgia is one such place where you can step in and feel like you're in this, German town. Leavenworth, Washington is another one. They're known a lot for their kind of winter and ski chalets and that kind of feel to it. Even St. Augustine, Florida, has really wonderful history. They have, Spanish castles and Spanish architecture. And so you can really get a feel for that Spanish vibe, even if you are still in Florida. So I think that there's a lot of different European inspired cities in the US that you can see. And in general, if you still just really want to get to Europe, I definitely recommend looking at those budget airlines that I've mentioned. So Play Air, TAP Portugal, French Bee, all of these different airlines can get you to Europe from major hubs. And it doesn't necessarily have to be East Coast. You can fly from LA, San Francisco for very affordable. And then once you get to Europe, it's very easy to hop around. I've, flown from Athens to Santorini for $25 on Ryanair. So if you get a ticket to one of these places, you can kind of figure out how to get to your final destination once you're in the general vicinity. And in general, Eastern Europe is always going to be more affordable than Western Europe. So these other kind of countries that now have been seeing a lot more tourists, like Croatia, that's become very popular now and is a very big destination after Game of Thrones, as nearby, like Montenegro, Albania, things like that are still places that you can visit for very affordable. You can find meals for like a $5 lunch kind of thing, $30 night hotels pretty regularly, while they're still relatively untapped. And in general, off season, if you really want to go to Italy because you love Italy and you want to go there, and you don't want anybody to deter you, it's your dream. Same with Paris, there's a reason these destinations are popular. I think off season's a great time to consider visiting them. I've been in Milan in January, and it's significantly more affordable. Everything, for the most part, is still open. Much easier to get tickets. I was able to see The Last Supper, which is something that, tickets sell out months in advance to be able to see that painting on the fresco on the walls. And so that's something that in the off season, it's easier to find tickets. It's easier to find accommodations. You can pay much less to get there. And so if you really want to go to these destinations, you have that dream, maybe Paris in January is a good idea for you. And you can warm up with a delicious hot chocolate. They have really thick hot chocolate in Italy, that just basically you have to eat it with a spoon. It's that thick. So,
Okay.
you'll
Sell
warm
me.
up.
Sell me more.
I can deal with being a little cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric and I did a vacation to Paris and Spain, so France and Spain, in November, which was a little bit off season, but it really didn't limit us from doing anything. We were still able to get on a boat down the Seine. We were able to walk a ton of places. We just bundled up, and it made it really cozy and fun. So I would definitely recommend considering off season as well.
But if you had to choose one place to go in Eastern Europe that you would deem affordable, where'd you pack up and go right now?
I want to get back to you on that because I have an upcoming cruise with Viking where I'm going to be doing like 6 countries in 2 weeks. And so I think after that, I'll have a much better idea of which one I prefer. Right now, I have limited exposure, and that's part of the reason why I'm partnering with them to do that cruise. Because I've been to like the Czech Republic, that was really lovely. And a couple other places as well, but I really want to see more before I can make a full opinion on Eastern Europe, because I think there's a lot I'm missing.
Okay, Viking cruise. Say no more. It's fine. That's how I want to see Europe, is on a cruise ship, because I can hop around to cities. I don't have to carry my luggage from hotel to hotel. It's just right on the water. I got a hotel right on the water, literally. That's how I want to travel.
Yeah, so I had partnered with them before for Christmas on the Rhine. So we had done a Christmas market cruise where we had gone down the Rhine River and seen a lot of markets in Germany, Switzerland, and then ended in the Netherlands. And so this, we're going to be going down through the capitals of Eastern Europe. So like Budapest and like Romania and like a bunch of other places. So I think it's going to be amazing. But I agree with you that cruises are great because they're done for you. And they're usually pretty reliable in that they are the price that you've been quoted. Like, you know already what's included in it, what meals are included, what, you know, how much extra it's going to cost to do that excursion. With Viking in particular, they have, you know, a guide at every port. So you have at least a 1 hour walking activity included in every time that you're at a new city. So I agree. I think that's a great way to see everything and kind of know your price ahead of time. It's not necessarily the best for solo travelers. So I think better for families. And to your point, Joe, quickly, I actually think that Thanksgiving is also a great hack because while it is a holiday in the US and you know, domestic flights are really expensive, that's a great time to go abroad. It's not a holiday anywhere else. And it's, you know, those flights are much cheaper. And if you wanted to take a family trip, you could do Thanksgiving in a different way.
Yeah, I
Beautiful.
didn't think about that.
Yes.
I just want to follow up. I Googled Leavenworth for because I'm not a big fan of Helen, Georgia, but I want to see more like European stuff in the United States. Leavenworth has a reindeer farm.
Heyo.
I just want everyone to know that February 19th through 11th is calving season. So after April 12th, you can go meet baby reindeer.
Who doesn't love the good things in life? Even though I enjoy a little luxury, it doesn't mean I can always afford it. Until I discovered Quince. Quince is my go-to for luxury essentials at affordable prices.
Quince offers a range of high-quality items at prices within reach, like 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50, washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, and 14-karat gold jewelry.
And Quince only works with factories that use safe and responsible manufacturing practices. How great is that?
I love my silk slip dress from Quince. It is comfy, chic, and amazing quality.
I can't recommend their super soft fleece joggers enough. They feel like butter.
Give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/Teddy for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Teddy to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Teddy.
You might remember from our budget apps episode, we mentioned Monarch Money as being one of the best apps for people switching from Mint.
Monarch is the top-rated all-in-one personal finance app. It gives you a comprehensive view of all your accounts, investments, transactions, cash flow, net worth, and more. Listeners of this show will get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/frugal.
If you previously used Mint and are worried about transferring your data, Monarch has a tool that allows you to easily import your data from Mint, keeping all your tags and categories intact. It's also super customizable. After trying out Monarch for myself, I understand why it's the top-rated personal finance app.
And right now, listeners of this show will get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/frugal. That's monarchmoney.com/frugal for your extended 30-day free trial.
Tired of restless nights? Meet Lisa, the sleep experts. Here at Lisa, we know that good sleep is essential for mental, physical, and emotional health. That's why their mattresses are made for exceptional comfort and support, catering to every sleep need. Check out Lisa's Sapira Hybrid Mattress, named Best Hybrid Mattress 5 years running. Sleep hot? The Chill Collection is built with cool-to-the-touch top fabric and layers of high-density comfort foams, all intended to remove excess body heat while maximizing comfort. With Lisa, getting a new mattress has never been easier. Delivery is free, and you have 100 nights to try out your mattress in the comfort of your home. Don't spend another night dreaming of better sleep. For a limited time, save up to $700 off select mattresses plus 2 free pillows. Go to lisa.com/iHeart for an additional $50 off mattresses and select goods. That's LEESA.com/iHeart. Exclusions apply. See lisa.com for more details.
Cute.
I just want everyone to know if you're near Leavenworth. Is this Washington?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Please go see the baby reindeer.
Okay, Jen.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about we've already covered a lot of spots in the States, but for those who want a city, and maybe even New York City is top of the list, what would you recommend? Maybe not even a dupe for it, but how to do New York City.
Dupe me.
Yes. What are your best tips?
Yeah, absolutely. I love New York because I think that you can get to New York City from pretty much every major airport. It's an easy airport to access. I actually use New York as a hack to find cheap flights. Like if I know I'm looking to go somewhere internationally, I'll maybe search instead for New York to Tokyo versus Tampa to Tokyo, because I can get the more affordable rate from New York and get to New York for like $100 round trip. So I love New York
yes.
as a hub, especially when doing major international trips. And I never rule out deals from New York because they have really great deals from there. But in general, I just got back from doing a week there again in January, which is a good time to go. Everything is open. New York is busy. There's so much going on, so many people that the weather doesn't really impact you in the way it maybe does somewhere where you're out in nature. Because it's busy. It's a cityscape, there's a lot happening. And I was able to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway. I saw that using Today Tix. That's an app, and Tix is spelled Tix. And it basically gives you these half off tickets, or more on Broadway. So I found tickets as low as $67. I had a seat that was kind of front row right at the balcony. So mine was $97, but I paid less than $100 for a Broadway show. Which was amazing. I was able to meet the actors afterwards, like really wonderful.
So fun.
Yeah, they come out onto the street, they take pictures with you, they sign your playbill. So I had a very, authentic Broadway experience, and it felt really fun. And I was able to treat myself to that for what felt like a very reasonable price, definitely much less than it would have been if I bought it, retail. And I also, another kind of luxury hack I have in New York is I fly when I come into the airport, because most airports will take you about an hour to get into the city center from wherever you are.
I saw this, Jen. I saw this on your social media.
Yeah.
Say more.
So like JFK, LaGuardia, New York, they take a while. You have to call and hail the ride share. It takes a while to get in. So I actually have a hack. I fly with Blade. And so when you fly with them, and my very first ride was $145 because I had a $50 coupon off my first ride. And now at this point, I've referred them so much that I have different affiliate credits built up. And so I'm able to use that when I arrive to get airport transport from, JFK, Newark, or LaGuardia into Manhattan. It takes me 5 minutes, and I fly via helicopter.
I think you're burying the lead. You take a helicopter from the airport into the city.
Correct.
You don't take an Uber. You take a helicopter.
Correct. A private helicopter.
And your first time was $150. Which
Correct.
How much would a cab be into the city from
about
LaGuardia?
$100. Maybe $90.
Yeah.
And it could be more on rush hour. So that was what made my first video go viral, because I had a screenshot of a rush hour Uber quote that was like $200. And so I was like, I actually saved $50 by coming in via airplane, via helicopter. And so essentially it's like a shared helicopter service. And that's girl math, by the way, but it's like a shared helicopter service where you have up to 6 passengers on there. But most of the time it's not going to be packed, because I come in at first thing in the morning, and I'm not coming in on Christmas Day. So all the times I've used it, I've only had one other time where there's someone in there with me.
Oh my
Otherwise,
gosh.
it's just me and the pilot. And so what happens is they pick you up from the airport in their private, Escalade, Cadillac, I don't know, fancy black vehicle, because I don't know cars, but it's the fancy kinds. And they open the door for you, they take your luggage and everything, and then they escort you, they drive you to the heliport area, which is adjacent to the airport. And then you have your luggage that they take onto the helicopter. You walk on the runway area, tarmac area to the helicopter. They let you in, and then it's all luxurious. It's like leather seats. You have your really nice headphones that you have to wear so that you don't hear the ambiance when you're taking off.
Oh my gosh.
And then when you're actually, I think it's coming in from Newark, you actually go over the Statue of Liberty. So it also kind of doubles as a helicopter tour of the city.
Yeah.
And you get really amazing views.
Transfer and experience.
I am shook.
Yeah, when you see it that way too, it's a 2 for 1 and kind of like 5 for 1. That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, you're 6 to add on to it. When you finish, they also have free drinks.
No.
So you're like, oh, welcome. Yes. So it's like, yes, welcome to Manhattan. You just have your cocktail.
Right.
I usually do like a vodka pineapple juice, and they give it to you in this like little to-go cup thing. So you also get your souvenir cup that you're taking with you. So it's like a million things in one, and it's just so pleasant.
Oh, that's so wild. You're reminding me, I have done helicopter rides 2 times, not as a transfer from an airport. This is an incredible tip that, yeah, I can't wait to hear our listeners take advantage of this. But you can find them for relatively inexpensive. It seems like such a cool, luxurious thing to experience and fly over a city. But I've done it with Eric a couple of times in various places, and they've been so affordable compared to what I would have previously thought it would be. And then especially when you're talking about Ubers and Lyfts out of the airport in New York City, it's like, this is actually more affordable than getting a ride. You are giving us so many good things. I don't know if you have any more to say about New York City, but we were also chatting about other cities or destinations within the U.S., kind of these second-tier destinations. Curious to hear some of your top ones that you would recommend.
Top second-tier cities for summer travel.
Yeah. So when we say that, we mean just like kind of cities that are maybe not the capital city, maybe not the one that's super well known, like these cities that everyone knows: San Francisco, San Diego, New York City, Orlando, versus maybe some counterparts that you weren't aware of. Like, I love Madison, Wisconsin. While we're on the topic, I have cheese on my mind. They're an amazing city. If you're a fan of architecture, you can see Frank Lloyd Wright's Taliesin there, but also a lot of other architecture pieces by Frank Lloyd Wright, like the Unity Church in the city itself. So it's a really fun place for you to geek out about American architecture, which I'm a big fan of. It's a college town, so they have really great museums, they have great food. And I love college towns for that reason, because they're diverse. They usually have a lot going on. Like, there's not a slow period. There's usually always something happening. Another great example of that is Tempe, Arizona. So they're home to ASU, but they're a great place. You fly into Phoenix. They're 20 minutes outside of Phoenix. But there's so many beautiful things you can do there. They have a desert botanical garden where they had a Botero exhibit, which was, at the time of his passing last September, he was the highest paid Latin American artist in the world. So they have his pieces there currently, amidst the garden. They've had some Chihuly pieces before. So they do really beautiful integration of like art and the outdoors. Again, I'm a big nerd. And so I just love that these things are available. And again, because they're always busy, you can go year round. Tempe's warm year round. Like, Arizona's hot at any point in time. So if you wanted to get away from the winter, like, that's a great place to go. They have a lot of good hiking. I like light adventure. So I like adventure where you can feel like you're getting a lot of things, like getting out of nature, like you were being active, you got your steps in, but also like your life was not at risk and there was never.
Amen. That is my kind of adventure as well.
And, for travelers, that's not always the case. But for me, I'm like, I want to feel okay about this. And so some really cool things I've done, in that regard. Outer Banks, North Carolina, they have the home of flight where the Wright brothers discovered flight. And you can go hang gliding on the sand dunes like they did when they were testing the concepts.
Cool.
And I would never hang glide like off a cliff, right? Because again, I preserve my life. But sand dunes, like the sand, are natural cushion. You're never going like more than 10 feet off the air. Like, it's like a 10-second thing. Like, it feels super safe. But you're like, I went hang gliding on sand dunes today, like the Wright brothers, you know?
Wow.
I just did a partnership with Yosemite National Park, and we were able to see the giant sequoia trees there, which are the tallest trees. So, if you wanted to see this in the family of redwoods and experience something outside of the most popular places in Yosemite, a place like Mariposa Grove is beautiful, and they have so many, different entrances to the park that you can kind of go around a different way if you know that the main ways are a little bit more crowded. So you have a lot of fun, beautiful, natural escapes that you can have here in the US with cities that maybe would surprise you. Yeah.
That's amazing.
You're giving us so much. I just want to talk to you for days, not even hours, but I don't think that that's going to be possible for us right now. You've
Jill
given
and
me...
I both leaned back and we're taking it all in.
We're just going to be talking about all of our future plans. But you know what else is a really good thing to talk about? And I am also excited about.
That I think now officially we're going to have to take a work trip for research for this.
The
Bill of the Week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the Bill of the Week.
Jen, every week we yell at our listeners and our guests to share with us their bill of the week. And maybe it's a Buffalo Bill that you went on a cheese cave tour with. I don't know. It could be anything. We'd love to hear yours.
Yeah, so I thought an interesting one to share is one that I've actually been really excited about paying every month. I have a bill I've actually been looking forward to paying. So I recently joined ClassPass, and I still have my LA Fitness pass, and I still, have kind of my gym pass. But I love that ClassPass lets me try different studios in the area. So if I want to try this yoga class, I don't have to sign up for this yoga membership. Same thing with a bar class that they have 6-month memberships, and I don't go to bar classes that often. So it allows me to be, mix and match. But what I really love about it that I realized that they have, because I was a member years ago, and this is a new feature that I've fallen in love with, is that they have wellness. So you can have facials and beauty treatments for these passes. So I've been able to get, I went to the blow dry bar here in St. Pete, and it costs $70 to get my hair blow dried and get a deep conditioning treatment. And that same thing cost me 20 credits, which was the equivalent of less than $50 a month through ClassPass. So I've been saving a lot of money. Yes. So I was able to get my hair blown out for a conference where I felt really affordable. And I was able to do a facial. So I did a Hydra facial, which would have been $150, again, for enough credits that I had from 1 month. So it was saving a lot of money, and it's a way that I can actually feel good about treating myself to these things versus they're really unaffordable, or they're a Groupon, so I'm only getting this discount for the first time. This is something where I could continue to go back to the same place. Yeah, so I'm really excited about it just because I splurge on travel and things like that, but I want to splurge more on myself. And so things like getting my nails done, I never do it because I'm just I could be buying other things. Usually travel's more my priority. But I love that with this, I feel if I have credits, again, it feels different with redeeming the credits versus paying money outright. And so I feel I have the credits every month anyway. If I don't make it to that yoga class or that bar class, I still have my LA Fitness membership, and I can use those credits for a beauty treatment. And that makes me so excited.
We love a bill that we don't mind paying, and especially one where it aligns with our values and where it can be saving money on the things that we want to be spending on. This is really awesome. I hadn't considered ClassPass for all of its different things that you can get through it. It's not just one thing. It's not just a gym membership. It's all of these things. So cool that it makes sense for you and all the things that you're able to do as a result of it. We love it when we can spend freely on the things that we value. If you all listening want to submit a bill, if it's about a bill you don't mind paying, a bill that's getting you all the luxuries for less than you would typically spend on it full price, or your name is Bill, you're a regular old Buffalo Bill
you
out
play
here
for the Buffalo Bills. Maybe it's the off season for you.
Hey,
call in.
Listen to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Come on, call in.
frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill. Leave us your bill.
What else are you doing? Buffalo Bills aren't playing right now. You might remember from our budget apps episode, we mentioned Monarch Money as being one of the best apps for people switching from Mint.
Monarch is the top-rated all-in-one personal finance app. It gives you a comprehensive view of all your accounts, investments, transactions, cash flow, net worth, and more. Listeners of this show will get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/frugal.
If you previously used Mint and are worried about transferring your data, Monarch has a tool that allows you to easily import your data from Mint, keeping all your tags and categories intact. It's also super customizable. After trying out Monarch for myself, I understand why it's the top-rated personal finance app.
And right now, listeners of this show will get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/frugal. That's monarchmoney.com/frugal for your extended 30-day free trial.
Had enough of those supplements that leave you feeling nothing? Symbiotica is your solution to great-tasting, all-natural supplements that actually work. Crafted with premium plant-based ingredients, their products have no seed oils, fillers, or artificial nonsense. It's just pure goodness in every pouch. Try them out and actually feel the difference today. Visit Symbiotica.com and use code IHEART for 15% off plus free shipping on your subscription order. Again, that's 15% off plus free shipping on your subscription order. Go to Symbiotica.com. That's Cymbiotika.com.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
And now it's time for the lightning round.
Pew, 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 pew. All right. So for today's vulnerability round, I think, what destinations are you currently eyeing for future travels? So Jen, you mentioned your Viking cruise, but do you have anything else, any affordable destinations you're looking at?
Yeah. So I always plan a big trip for my birthday. This past year's trip was not affordable at all. But it was like the opposite of affordable. That's okay. This coming year, I've already picked my new destination. And so I'm going to be heading to Vietnam for my birthday, my next birthday.
Ooh. And how, what are you, why Vietnam? What drew you there?
I am going to get an entire custom-made wardrobe. And you can do so in Vietnam because they have so many amazing specialty fabric stores and people that, you go and they take your measurements and then they make you this clothing that is fit to you. It's beautiful for you. Men go there to get their suits done because it comes out much more affordable. And so I want to go and get a whole new wardrobe made in Vietnam and go and get it so that it fits me versus me feeling like I have to get this tailored or I have to fit into these pants that don't really,
Wild.
You're the coolest.
You are.
I want to be you
coolest.
when I grow up. You know so much. You're just doing it all. Wow.
Custom wardrobe.
There's so many things I want to say about this because
so
Jen
cool.
and I recently got our colors done and that felt luxurious, but also money saving in many ways. We've been going to these consignment stores and thrift stores and finding quality clothing reused at an affordable price, but within our colors. So we're not just collecting stuff and hoarding clothing, but we can know that it looks good on us, that these colors are going to accentuate our features. But now that that's done, I have been thinking about fit of clothing and what looks best on my body. And I can take some guesses at it, but I'm not an expert at this. I don't totally know what exact style looks good on me. I know you've been talking about that, Jen, too, kind of post babies and kind of coming into a new style, and also realizing that most of what I pick up at the store, especially my pants, don't fit me the way that I want to. And my sewing skills aren't good enough. And maybe that's something I could learn to do, is tailor my own clothing. But wouldn't it just be so nice to get someone else to tailor it and to tell you what looks good on you? I love this. So are you going to send an entire suitcase back of the clothing that you purchased there?
Yeah, so usually if I know that that's the case and I expect that I'm going to be doing some shopping, I will pack an extra bag, and then my roller carry-on bag will end up getting checked.
You've mentioned so many things today that I'm so glad that I already follow you on Instagram. I just can't wait to see like how this all shakes out. We're going to live vicariously through you. That'll be our ultimate dupe on how we save money, but we still have fun. We follow Jen on a jet plane.
We do. Okay. Especially if you are a Harry Potter fan. You absolutely need to follow Jen on a jet plane, because you have done, we'll do a follow-up with your coolest Harry Potter things after this lightning round. I think we're not done here yet.
Oh, wow.
We'll do a 30-second lightning round after this.
Okay, wow. Okay, your turn.
Okay, my turn. Okay, so this year, not this winter, but next winter, we want to take the boys to see snow. Specifically Kai, because Atlas still doesn't know what's going on in the world. But we were already thinking about upstate New York, because I have a friend in Buffalo, and Travis has friends in upstate New York. And now I'm thinking about cheese caves. So that is a possibility. We're going to Cancun over the summer. That is something we already have booked.
Jen and I.
We are doing
not our spouses.
A work retreat. Yeah.
Me and my work wife.
Yeah. And then I'm doing a cruise with my sister-in-law.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Too quick.
You don't have to run everything by me. I guess it's fine.
Wow. Okay. It's a fun story how it happened. I'll tell it later.
Okay.
I will say, if you're going to Cancun during the summer months, like June to August, you can swim with whale sharks. So I would look into that.
And does that under your
light adventure
qualifications of light adventure?
Yes. So
okay.
It says sharks, but they're actually whales. They're sharks is just in the name.
Massive. Look them up. They're massive.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I'm not the type of person who needs that. I can look at them. I'm not the one who needs to be like, get me up close to them. Let me touch them.
They're not. You shouldn't. You
probably aren't
touch
touching
them. Yeah, that's prohibited. You're just in the water.
You shouldn't ride
with
manatees.
them.
You shouldn't touch whale sharks.
They're massive. Yes. I don't know if I could do it.
It's just getting in the water with them. It's a really cool experience, and it's hard to find. They're really like in the Philippines. Like you have to follow their migration patterns. And so since you're already there during the time when they're there, it's a possibility.
We'll already be there, Jill.
I'll videotape you, Jen.
It's just throwing it out there. If you also want to do light adventure in the area, they have where you can scuba dive the underwater museum, but you don't need a full PADI dive certification.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So you can get certified the day of, because it's a mini dive. It's like really short. It's really, not that deep. So you can get certified within like 2 to 3 hours. And then you go and you do this dive around the statues, and then you come back up. No whale sharks included.
I saw that in another kid's book that we read to Kai. I learned so much from children's books.
I know. Yeah.
You're
becoming
right,
smarter.
Jill. Yeah.
I become smarter by listening to Jen on a jet plane. Okay, so for me, actually, I'm going to throw it out to you, Jen, to tell me where I should go. I've got a couple on my list. Thinking of Colombia, been eyeing that one up. Seems to have some of the really cool architecture in your cobblestone streets.
Great things.
Affordability. Mexico City, I cannot tell you the amount of people who have said, because, we've been to a lot of the coastal cities throughout Mexico, but never Mexico City. But at least 5 people have said, you got to get to Mexico City. So that's on the list. And Portugal. So where should I go?
Where should she go?
I love all 3 of those. Are you looking to go by yourself or with family?
Me and my husband. It's coming up on our 12-year anniversary. So probably one of these spots for our anniversary.
And what time of year are you going?
April.
That's a good time of year to travel.
Yeah.
You should just go wherever has the cheapest hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Where has the tubes? Oh,
well, and flights. That's
Oh,
can be
yeah.
expensive
Okay.
too.
I think, from Florida, you're going to be able to find really affordable flights to Mexico and Colombia. But I think April in Portugal could be really beautiful too if you want that kind of romantic, kind of memorable getaway because you want to do something different. But I don't think that I think you have good destinations in all three of those and the option to make it romantic and really beautiful and memorable no matter where you go. So it really just depends on what memory do you want to make? Like, do you want to be eating tacos and going to the Freedom Museum in Mexico City? Or do you want to be climbing on those stairs and seeing like the colorful city of Guatape in Colombia? Or do you want to go to like Sintra Castle and like listen to fado music in Portugal? Like, what are you most excited about? And go from that. But they're all great destinations. So I don't think you can't go wrong.
Beautiful. Jen, you're an incredible person. Thanks for being here with us. I know people want more. I know we've already told them where to go, but give us more information. Where can people make sure they're following you and hear all of your amazing expert tips on travel?
Absolutely. So you can find me at Jen on a Jet Plane on all social media channels, jenonajetplane.com. I believe that you have a link for flight alert programs that you can sign up for if you wanted to get notified of flight deals. So that's something that I have for anybody that wants to sign up for that and just kind of be in the know. So maybe you can find that $300 round trip flight to Portugal. And that's pretty much it. And you can find my books on Amazon, Jen Ruiz. But come hang out, find me on any of these socials or platforms, and I'm happy to keep sharing more tips.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Jen. I mean, I've never done so much research on cheese caves in such a short amount of time.
It's all you've been doing.
It's literally all I've been doing.
And I say you can't truly multitask. You can't truly do two things at once. So I do think what you've been primarily doing is researching cheese caves, and I was interviewing Jen on a jet plane.
That's rude.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
What is the point in having a co-hosted podcast if you can't hand it off to your co-host while you Google cheese caves
I'm here
around
for
the U.S.?
I learned a lot from Jen on a jet plane, and you learned a lot about cheese caves. Anything stand out to you that you now want to lay upon us?
I want to go take a work trip to see the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
And then go drink wine in a cheese cave.
That would be beautiful. I think we need those experiences together.
When we are doing that, you're going to thank me for doing this Googling while you interviewed Jen.
Okay. I'm not mad about it. I'm just stating how it happened.
You're stating the behind the scenes, how it went for everyone. So thank you so much for listening to Jill's interview with Jen. Many of you know we have a newsletter called the Friendletter. We just told you about it just an hour ago. And it's where we give you tips 3 times a week, freebies, those travel hacks that are going to help you get to these destinations, all kinds of stuff. And we love reading your sweet emails. When you reply to the Friendletter, it goes to our inbox. So if you have mean things to say, I see those. And if you've that's actually not happened yet, but it will probably.
You're about to say it should. It should happen.
It should. When they hear how lax I take my job. But we received this really sweet email before that was exposed from Monica. And she says, "Hi, did I do the no spend challenge? No, but I did try to not spend as much as I can. See why I was impulse buying stuff, emotions, pay off one credit card, put stuff on it again, but will be paid off again next paycheck, and make extra payments to my other credit card, along with opening a high yield savings account thanks to your emails, part of why I can pay off one card, and plan to open one with Ally so the CIT is my emergency fund. I can't even read. Thanks for the pod, Monica."
Oh, Monica. That's amazing.
I'm so sorry. I'm the person relaying the information.
There's a spectrum when it comes to doing these challenges, and there isn't like exactly one way of doing it. So I'm encouraged to hear that just hearing us talk about our woes and successes through it and seeing other people within the group do it or within our community, really.
Yeah.
is inspiring you to at least take a closer, more intentional look at your spending. And having opened a high yield savings account and pay down credit cards, those are big moves to have done in the month of January. So well done. And thank you for thinking to share that with us. We love hearing from you. We love the kind emails. We love the reviews. We love it when you sign up for our friend letter so that you can keep getting more from us, so that you can take a part of our polls and respond to us and give us helpful information on how to give you better content. It's also, we're so grateful.
Yes, absolutely. And I think if you're not sure if your no spend challenge was successful, I think a lot of more people think they fail than truly do fail. I think the marker of success is that you learned something about your spending, and now after the challenge, you're doing something to improve it, what you've learned about. Yeah. That's the true measure of success. It's not what happened during the 30 days. It's what you do after the 30 days. So take heart, be encouraged.
It's not about the journey. It's about the destination.
For sure. See you next time. Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Sirianni. Jen, we don't usually invite our guests on the after show because it's a little unhinged, but we know you can hang, and I want to know more about Harry Potter around the world. Yeah. I want to know the coolest things, because yes, you've done Harry Potter World at Universal. You even did it in Japan, you said.
Yes.
Just tell me the coolest Harry Potter things you've done.
Yeah, which the Japan one was pretty cool because you could see the shows and performances in half English and half Japanese. And so I just thought it was so fun to see that. And they have a cool black lake around their Hogwarts there that looks very authentic.
Black lake?
Yeah, I don't know how they make it super dark, but it's a black lake. And so it feels very Hogwarts. But aside from Universal Studios Japan, I would say the coolest, most authentic Harry Potter experiences I've had have been like riding the Hogwarts Express, the real life Hogwarts Express. It's called the Jacobite Steam Train, and it's in Scotland, and it goes over the viaduct, and that's that famous scene where you see the train on the way to Hogwarts. And so the viaduct, Glenfinnian Viaduct, has become super famous, and people go there to see the train and take pictures of the train passing by, but you can also ride the train itself. You have to get tickets super far in advance. They have different cabins. So they have like your regular economy seats. They have your first class cabins, which is where Harry Potter and his friends sat in the cabins when they were filming. And they take you to a fishing town, Mallaig, and then you come back. It's a 7-hour experience. It's like 3 hours there, 3 hours back, an hour of lunch. So full day. And I don't recall sitting much. They have the little like trolley that goes through, and it has like chocolate frogs and Birdie Bots, every flavor beans and all of that stuff, a bunch of souvenirs. So it was a really fun experience. So both riding the train and then getting the iconic view of it passing by. And both of that is in Scotland. And Scotland had a bunch of different Harry Potter locations in general. Like I took a whole week-long road trip. I went to the site of Hagrid's hut where they filmed, Hagrid's, the hut itself isn't there, but you can see where it was, and you can see the lake in the background. So you recognize the scenery, different film sites like waterfalls and, just everywhere around Scotland. I went and actually took a broomstick flying lesson in the Hogwarts courtyard. And this was technically in England at that point. So in Alnwick, England. And so it's at Alnwick Castle, and you go and it's seasonal, but from like April to October or so, they have it open. The train is also seasonal. And so you go and you have your broomstick and you take a lesson out in the courtyard with 20 other people, and you're all going around riding your broomsticks. And it's where they filmed the first flying lesson. So that was a lot of fun.
What does this look like? People running around with brooms between their legs? Tell me that's what it looks like.
That is exactly what it looks like. And you also, and you have to make a noise because that's part of the magic that you make it go. Yeah, so everybody has to have their unique noise. And so like one instructor.
Unique noise?
Yes.
I love it.
Your own magic noise. How do you make your broom go?
What's your magic noise?
Yours?
I honestly, I don't recall. It was so in the moment. But like different examples of noises. They were like, it would be like, or like boom boom, or like I don't know, just any kind of noise you want it to
Jill,
be.
what's your magic noise?
There you go.
Mine is pew 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 pew.
That's perfect.
It's my signature magic noise.
Pure play. And I also love, this is like turning into a whole other like tip section, but as an alternative to like Universal Studios, which is very expensive. Universal's actually more expensive than Disney World. And actually going to these spots. So you're having the experience similar to some of the experiences you would get at an amusement park, but also the international travel and some of the additional just life activities and cool things to do beyond just going to an amusement park in the middle of Florida.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Jen, are you excited for Epic Universe for the new expansion?
I am. I hadn't heard much about it.
Oh, they are adding another Harry Potter world.
Oh.
It's the, I don't know much about Harry Potter, but it's another thing that people are excited about, who are excited about Harry Potter.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, okay, Jen, we've taken all of your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for the last little bit.
Thank you for humoring
some
us
people
with your
still
magic
listen to
sound.
Thank you. I loved your sounds, guys. I think you would have been naturals.
Yes.
Hello, Saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Bayer, and this is my brother, Jonah.
And we are so excited to have you hear the latest season of our nostalgia-themed podcast, How Did We Get Weird?
Not only do you get to know me and my brother, you get to know the stories that made us the absolutely rad people we are today.
Check out our episodes where we've welcomed hilarious guests like our friend Andy Samberg.
That's it. That's really it.
And Queen Casey Wilson.
I really went cart before the horse. I said, I think I have an opportunity to interview Leonardo DiCaprio. As a high school student.
And you do not want to miss out on our funny segments like Change.dork.
Change.dork.
And congratulations, you played yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Listen to our podcast, How Did We Get Weird, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Scopes monkey trial to O.J. Simpson, trials have always made us reflect on the world we live in. I'm Mira Hayward, and my podcast, History on Trial, will explore fascinating trials from American history. Join me in revealing the true story behind the headlines and discover how the legal battles of the past have shaped our present. Listen and subscribe to History on Trial, now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.